again. It's a He Said, She Said podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now get ready for an amazing show. First of all, I want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors. We all obviously got to shout out Alpha Medicine and Rehab. So guys, listen up. If you get into a car accident, we always tell you, there's one place to call. If you're in Florida, you're in Texas, Alpha Medicine and Rehab. Their information is right at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you go check them out. Because after an accident, there's a lot of things that could be going on in your body. You don't know, but you can get it checked out by Alpha Medicine and Rehab. Over 20 locations. Just a year, it was only like 10.
I know.
Or 12, if that. And now, 1 year later, 20 locations, over 20 locations.
They are growing.
Definitely, definitely. And always, you know what I'm saying, if you is hot outside and you need a pool, make sure you check out my people, Miramar Pools. All right, so they serve all over Florida, so make sure you check them out. And they built ours, and it came out amazing. So make sure you get yours.
They turned my dream into a reality.
That's right. So don't just dream about it. Swim in one. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Get in one. All right. Without further ado, baby, it's my boy Luis. What's going on, man?
Okay.
By the way, just people don't know, you run Alpha Medicine and Rehab. Yes. And I wanted to get you on the podcast, bro, because it's like, you are a young guy. Are you in your 30s, right?
35.
35.
Oh my goodness.
You got an amazing business booming.
Yes.
I mean, you came from Cuba, and here you are, man, just leading your family, doing amazing stuff, man. How does that feel, man? Being so young and being in the position that you're in, and being able to be in a field where you're helping people and all that stuff.
It feels great. First of all, thank you for, inviting me over.
Of course, bro.
Appreciate it.
I had to do it, man.
Yeah, well,
and you were like, you're not inviting me. I said, bro, you family, bro. You just be like, yo, when you gonna put me on? I got you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And I'm very grateful, to be in the place that I'm in today. Thanks to a lot of people around me, like my dad, starting with my dad who risked his life, to make sure that I was able to eventually end up here in this country that has allowed me to, have the freedom to shoot for the stars, and slowly but surely we're getting there. We're doing pretty good, and I'm blessed with my family and the team that we have that allows everything to move smooth, or as smooth as possible in the business and in our personal life as well.
Correct, and that's one thing that I've noticed is like your team is really dedicated. Like they are really about it. And you're lucky because, some people, you work in the workforce and you see people or you meet people in the workforce. They don't want to be there. They're complaining. They're lazy. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the time. And experiencing, working with you guys and seeing the dedication that comes from your team, how they treat people, how they just like treat each other, talk to each other, and the priority that they take and the pride that they take with the commitment to serve just speaks a lot on the company as a whole, because it's not only one person that stands out, it's all of them. All of them do a great job. As long as, what I'm saying, I see that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, it's a whole culture that we notice, from them. So it's always been great.
Correct, man. So
a lot of our employees were actual patients that liked our product, how we treated them, and they apply. So a lot of our employees are actually old patients that they used to treat with us.
That's crazy. And and I think that's a good thing because they relate to the patients that now they are helping. They've been there. They've gone through the pain. They've gone through the process. So it makes the patient feel, wow, you understand. You know what I'm saying?
Care.
You care. You know what I'm going through. You understand my thoughts and what I'm feeling and my, how, because it's scary to sometimes, go after you go get into an accident and everything that comes along with that, with the insurance and the lawyers and this and that, just to be able to have a team that you can go to that understands that.
Compassion, to understand everything that you're going through at that moment, something that you didn't ask for, but, happened, and, how do you turn something negative into a positive?
Correct.
For that patient.
Correct. So I do got some questions here that we got a little cards here of questions
I
now.
was wondering how you do this. I see. You got the cards.
No, so this was I no so okay, so let me tell you what this is. So
Yeah.
these are cards for couples.
Ah.
So we were in the beach one day, and me and her was it our anniversary?
I don't.
We were in Tampa, and
We were in Tampa. Yeah.
a lady came up to us and says, "Listen, I want to gift these cards to you." There was just a stack of them,
Yeah.
and that because these cards helped our marriage. Like we were on the brink of divorce, you know. I mean, here we are celebrating like our 25th year anniversary. But she's like, and we just want to, I just want to give these to you because you're a couple. You know, we
Yeah.
went through all of these, and we want to give them to you because like
Yeah.
that can help you. So, very appreciative of that. And I thought you were going to come with your wife, so we pulled out some cards out of the stack to
Couples.
to talk to you guys. But I know that your wife Amy, by the way, salud para Amy.
Yeah,
Next
hi,
time you better
Amy.
come, girl.
Yes,
but I
come
know
back.
she has
Come
some
again.
obligations. But as you're talking, it reminds me of this question that we pulled out here. And I want to see if I can find it real quick here. By the way, did you build this from scratch? It was like, because I know you said you started doing physical therapy, no? Like that's how you started doing?
So, I got into this industry because I was involved in a car accident. I wanted to do aerospace engineering. I always wanted to fly and
Oh.
draw or build planes.
Yeah.
But
Oh, wow, that's
I
interesting.
didn't do good on my SAT. I didn't study, so I had to wait a few months to get into the program. And somebody told me, why don't you just do this and go to school and do massage for like 8 months, 7 months? And I was like, perfect, it makes sense. I'm doing something. I'm not just laying at home.
Correct.
So I went ahead and I took the course, and right before I was done, like about a month, right before I was done with the course, I got into a huge accident. I was airlifted.
Oh, wow.
So I lived.
Airlifted?
Yeah, I was airlifted. Nothing really major, just a lot of bleeding. So
Correct.
they were concerned, and they just took me on a very expensive helicopter ride, and I learned, that was one of my first lessons, is how expensive healthcare can be here in the United States. So that took me to this industry that I've been doing since I'm 18 years old, and I because it happened to me, and I saw the process and how unfair it was in a way, from the insurance, from the hospital and the helicopter ride, from the provider that treated me at the moment, from the attorney, and at the end, I was just kind of like left for the end. I was the leftover.
Yes.
Pretty
Yes.
much. So it's how everything started in my life.
You were not
in
even
this
the
industry.
priority, basically. Like,
No, everyone was just making money around me, and
Wow.
I lived that. And years later, after working for multiple providers, we wanted to do something. We wanted to expand, we wanted to grow, we wanted a challenge, which was what I was speaking earlier today, because the people that I was working with, they didn't want to grow anymore. They were just content with where they were, and I'm like, well, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it myself. And we started with our first office in Punta Gorda, and one thing led to the next, and it used to be called Ally Medical of Southwest Florida, which we specialize in primary care. But we were also treating patients for accident. Obviously, the accident industry is my background, so that took off a lot faster than the primary care, because in primary care, you have to, apply to all this insurance and get a network, and it's a lot harder to get with all these insurance companies that they want the big companies, and we were small, very small at the moment. So it was Ally Medical Southwest Florida. That's how it all started. We had to restructure our business. And then, we gave part of the business, the personal injury part of the business, to our medical provider, because me and my wife couldn't be the owners of that type of practice. So we gave that up. We gave it, which the owner is Dr. Mendoza. And me and my wife, we continue to run the Ally Family Health, which is the primary care part of the business. So, which, I kind of manage still both, because of my experience in
Yes.
personal injury.
Yes.
Dr. Mendoza obviously trusts me with my experience, and, where our mind is, and what we want to see for Alpha Medicine and Rehab. He trusts me a lot. He knows that I lived it, and that's the reason. There's a quote. When things get hard or tough, remember why you started, and he understands that. I understand that as well.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that whenever we decided, me and my wife, to start and incorporate personal injury, I told her, I would like to change the industry in medicine as a whole, not just in personal injury, but in medicine. Give people an opportunity to, but it's very expensive too. It's expensive, especially after COVID, where employees went from making this to like, now I have to make this because you couldn't find them. And now inflation, it's ridiculous. So it has been one thing after the other. So it has created a lot of, bumps on the road, especially for Ally Family Health, because, it's medicine, but it's a little bit different than personal injury. So it's harder to grow that part of the business.
I mean, but still, like, it's like you said, he definitely trusts you, and you're really the feet of the company, right? You're carrying this on your back, and you're going to this office and going to that office, opening another office. So
all of us do. We have, like we said earlier, we have a great team. I started it. He was, from the bottom. Obviously, I built a reputation in this area, in this side of town, where people knew me as I do everything. I do marketing. I treat patients if I have to. I build the offices. I find the offices. I did everything.
Well, I mean, you think very, from what I see, from what I was able to experience, very forward thinking. Like, for instance, I remember when you sent me a last year, sometime in June, I think I got your first message on Instagram. Hey man, I want to work with you guys, and stuff like that. Like, you already saw that and said, that's going on social media, and you just say, you know what, I want to work with influencers. I want to try. I want to do something different, and you set yourself apart from that. So like, you saw something when nobody else is seeing things like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you're continuing to do that because you're getting other influencers, different parts of, where your offices are. And I think that's a very different way of thinking, which is great, because I feel like people remember you when you have touched them in some way. Like, when I walk into, or when we go somewhere, people are like, oh my God, you guys are hilarious. Like, they saw a video, they laughed, and we were relatable to them. And they will always be grateful for that for us, just if it's just one video. And working with you guys is the same thing, because they're still going to get those moments when they're laughing. I want to know these people. If something happens, I'm going to go to these people that I will always see on social media and stuff like that, because you've touched them. It's not only like, hey, come see us when you're hurt. It's like, hey, check us when you're okay, when you're laughing, when you're having a good time.
Yeah,
check
do preventative stuff too. Come see us at any time.
When I first approached the team, with the idea, hey, what if we incorporate, influencers and do funny things? I got a little bit of pushback because, hey, we're supposed to be serious, and we're like, well, I think we're already serious enough, and we show it with our actions.
Yeah.
Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's give our audience, our patients, something to remember us for, not just, when it was pain, when it was exercises, when it was surgeries, when it was injections. Let's just, let's have them and stay, in the back of their head. Like, I want people to remember us. I've always said to some of my staff, just stay relevant, stay in people's faces. Don't And when I
Don't
used
settle.
to,
Don't settle.
yeah, don't disappear, because the moment you
Yeah.
do, someone else is gonna come around.
100%.
And
100%.
get in their faces, and soon enough you'll be forgotten. And I've seen a lot of business start and and go.
And let me ask you this: how has
Disappear.
that worked? Like, is the team now thinking different about it?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
get a lot of good feedback from it and stuff like that?
We usually incorporated another influencer in the East Coast,
Yeah.
and I didn't get as much pushback because they feel more comfortable now, and it's not a way for us to generate patients. It's branding. It's like a billboard.
Correct. 100%.
This
It is.
is not for us to, because we're doing this reel or this story or this post, we're gonna get 2-3 new patients this month. It doesn't work that way. It's just for us to stay in their face. And
Well, I remember. You remember when Fuselo was here?
Uh-huh.
And I've always said this to people, even working in
we
radio.
still remember him.
Correct, right? And I say this even in radio, right? Because even when people work, announce themselves on a radio station, they think, okay, I'm announcing it today. Tomorrow, people are gonna come and check me out. Like, I should have a packed house, and it doesn't work like that. People are gonna come to you when they remember you, and the only way they remember you is when you're in their face. So I know when I needed a car, I said, before I go anywhere, I'm gonna go see what Fuselo got, because he's always giving something away. Or let me.
He got
because
the best prices.
He got the best prices because he always says this is huge. So I'm gonna go see him first. So I go. They're gonna come see you when they need something. So, like, for instance, somebody gets into a car accident. Where are they gonna go? Well, if you're on their face enough, they're gonna say, "Well, I'm gonna go check out this Alpha Medicine and Rehab because I've seen their videos, or I've seen their billboards, or they're always popping up in a post, or something's going on." So it's like you always gotta be, like you said, in the people's face. The same thing with us, social media influencers. We make a video every day. Every day we make a video. I don't care if it's
If it's silly, even if it's silly,
even
you
if
gotta
it's
do
silly,
something.
but I gotta do something. Why?
Yeah.
Because I gotta serve the people something all the time, so I could be relevant with them.
Yeah.
Because they follow us because we make them feel good. They want to be able to see what we got going on. And a lot of the times, laughter heals. It's good for the soul.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are going through a situation, and we get so many emails sometimes and messages like, you guys brought me out of depression, and I was, going through this, and my mom died, and she loved you guys, and like, I love that you guys remind me of her, or whatever the case might be. But just to be able to have that power and that influence over people, like, it's just amazing. And
I remember when we opened up our second location in Cape Coral, and back in those days, my marketing was a little different. I was very green, starting to mature in the marketing world. And I remember I used to make the small flyers, like 4x6, and I used to go to cars and just drop them on their windshield or their. And I remember this young lady that I went to the Walmart, the Walmart there on the Prado, and I remember after I dropped it off, I had my number on the flyer, and she called me, and she's like, it's like a blessing that you guys just left this here for me. I see that your cash prices are very affordable, and I'm concerned about, something going on in her breast. I guess she felt that she had some type of cancer, and our prices, like I said before, we want to make a difference. We're very affordable. So she was able to come in, get her studies done, but she was very, thankful that I had left that day there, so that you never know when it's gonna be, when that person is gonna need that laugh, when that person is gonna need that hand, and that's why I believe in staying relevant, because they're not gonna need you until they need you, and if you're not the person that day, then it's gonna be someone else, or they're just gonna find themselves in a hole. Which is what happened to me when I was 18 years old and I got into that accident, and you know, I was like bouncing around. Oh, I know this person and I know that person. I can go see this one and go see that one. I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, especially we want to stay in touch with the community. So, you know, that's why we want to be, you know, always in their face. You know, we want to be part of the community. We don't want to just, you know, we're here to serve you. You know, we want to provide good medicine. You know, we're always
Yes.
looking for good talent, for good doctors to incorporate, for good therapists, for good staff to bring to our practice. But you know, we want to, you know, we want to be remembered not just for this. We want to help in any way we can, whether it is a laugh with you guys or a book bag that we were doing together the other day. Thank you guys for being part of that as well.
Wanted to talk about that for a second.
Yeah, so I was thinking about the impact that you have on the community, and
Yes.
you know, your office and your staff and yourself, like you have your hand on the pulse of the community. Just recently, you guys were a part of the backpack event, back to school for all our kids in the area. What other community events do you enjoy being a part of for the community?
We're the girls were already talking at the office that, you know, let's start getting the toys for the kids for December.
Yeah.
So we're already starting to work on that. We want to do something for Thanksgiving. I don't know what's
yes.
gonna be. I don't know if we're gonna give turkeys away this year or if we are gonna, you know, feed the homeless. But we want to do something. You know, we want to add throughout the year. So from January until, you know, back to school, we don't have anything. So if you have an idea, you just bring it up to me, because we want to be there throughout the year. For the community, give back to the community, and hopefully, you know, I mean, again, it's not for people to, you know, we don't expect anything in return, you know, because I've always said there's nothing better than to make money while helping people.
That's
Correct.
right.
You know, I mean, if to me, at least my opinion, if I'm successful while I'm helping people, then I'm in the right business.
Correct.
For me.
Well, I have to be honest. When we were there Saturday with the backpack event, watching the kids smiling on their faces and walking away with those book bags and just being so excited, it was just beautiful.
Well, I mean,
It was feel good Saturday.
I know that I was speaking to some of the people that work with you there, and they were stunned of how many book bags. Because last year, I believe it wasn't that. I mean, it was a lot, but it wasn't as much as this one.
No.
And we're
This
talking
one
about
was
4
like-
locations.
Correct. How many? Yeah, because I know I want to say between Lehigh and Fort Myers, you probably guys gave about 1,000.
Yeah, we had to bring and order some more book bags. So we still have some book bags still at the office that we had to bring from the East Coast.
Wow.
So yeah, we gave a lot. We still have some left. We're gonna see how we're gonna get rid of them. You know, we got to find the right place to go and bring them.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is we're not just talking about backpacks, you know, and supplies, but we're talking about physicals were done too.
Correct.
So we made sure the kids and the parents had all the support and the help that they needed.
Yeah, I mean, they were coming in just to get the physical.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes, you know, they need that, you know, for
Whatever we can do for free, we always try to throw it, you know. And sometimes, you know, it's the world that we live in. You try to do something nice, but legally you can't do it.
Yeah.
Because this insurance doesn't allow you, or that law doesn't allow you to. So sometimes we end up having to charge sometimes patients for things that to me would be like, nah, it's okay. You know, let's give something back, but sometimes the laws prevent you from doing what, in my opinion, it's the right thing, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes. So
Yeah. Your hands are tied.
But yeah,
sometimes.
but in this event, we were able to, you know, just say, hey, it's. I don't think anyone it could be against that, you know, especially with
Yeah.
kids, you know.
I know.
Let's just and give the parents a break, because it's already expensive enough.
Yeah, how
for them
much
to
did
go-
you say it cost to buy school supplies?
So
What were you telling me?
one kid this year, it was going to be, if I'm not mistaken, $533
Yeah.
for school supplies. And,
Yeah.
you know, clothes and just get them ready.
Shoes.
Each kid. Well, you
Sneakers
know.
are not cheap anymore.
Yeah.
These things are expensive.
Correct.
So.
You
Yeah.
know, you have
Yeah,
two
I have-
beautiful daughters that they have to go to school, and I'm pretty sure. And then you have your son
My
too.
son and
So
my
it's like-
daughter, my 4-year-old, started
Yeah.
PPK, so she was excited to get her book bag and get
Yes.
shoes. I got home and she's like, "Papi, look." Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they're beautiful.
So funny. We came back from doing the backpack event, and we got a message from one of our followers, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sad." She was living in Texas. I'm so sad that I wasn't able to attend. I would love a backpack. I said, "Bro, listen, tell her we're gonna get her stuff right now." We stopped at Target, got her a backpack, got her some
Yeah.
stuff.
Could have
We
told
sent
us
it
we
over.
have a bunch still at the office.
Yeah, I know. It was at that very moment.
Yes.
You know, so we was just like, look, let me just.
Remember last year we were mailing Xbox to New York.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, and you know, and that's the thing. Like, that's very impressive. I mean, even last year when you did the Xbox stuff, you were like, "Hey, you guys
We
want
were
to go to
looking
New
at
York?
flights.
You were
Yeah.
going, can you go to New York like tomorrow?" And I was like, "What? All right, let's go." And so,
Yeah.
but so it's like just where your heart is. Like, that's why I love working with you guys, and I feel like close with you guys because that's where my heart. That's how I would be, and that's how we are. You know, like where I see how where you have your heart and your family and your kids and your employees and what you guys do and you stand for. You guys are really, really good people. And we every time that we do a podcast and we mention you guys as sponsors, we tell it like we believe in you guys. Like
Yeah.
we believe in that you're here for the right reason and you're helping people. And you know, I just think that it's just so great that you have that type of heart because even I mean your employees they love working for you, man. You know, they love working for you, you know, and you bless them and you're always there for them and they you could just see like how appreciative they are and how like they love to be there. They put in their hard work and all that stuff. So, you know, it says a lot about the culture what you
And
guys have put
sometimes
together.
we're recording, and I can't help but like hear the patients talking, you know, with some of the physical therapists and stuff like that, and it's just it's very professional, very nice. You know, it's just something nice to be able to observe and watch.
Yeah. man.
Coming back from COVID, that was one of our focus to change the culture. You know how on how the employees felt about the business. You know, professionalism. You know, but you know, as I said before, it can always be a serious environment because
Yeah.
who can, you know, live technically because they live in that office for the, you know, most
The
part of the
majority of
day.
the day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So you can't just, you know, you can live and you know, I when I think of business or anything in general, I always think 5-10 years ahead. And how can somebody be here for 5-10 years, give us all of that time, which to me is the most important thing that we have in life, our time, you know, and be miserable and see that you're not working for a company that it's doing something, you know, good for the community. You know, that it's just, I've always said, you know, when that alarm goes off in the morning, I want to make sure that you're happy and not, because
Here
I've
we
been
go
there.
again.
I've been there. Oh, I gotta get up. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't want.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want. You know, our team to feel that way. You know,
Yeah.
about having to wake up and go to work. You know, I want them to look forward. You know, whether it is because, you know, they have you know, something going on, something special, an event that we have going on that day, or you know, they're working towards that race. You know, I want them to know that there is a future, you know, within our company, whether it's Alpha, whether it's Ally, you know, that there's a future, that there's growth, that if you come in and you work hard, you know, we're gonna reward you and we're gonna place you in the right place. You know, that's one thing that I always look. I always look for talent. You know, even, you know, with people that not necessarily have the degree but I see
drive,
yeah,
Correct.
exactly, because that was me at some point, you know, and nobody took advantage of me. And if someone would have taken advantage of me, I would have
would've
made them
been-
a lot of money. But
Correct.
they
Yeah.
didn't,
Correct.
and I did it myself. So
Correct.
too bad for you.
Well, I mean, I've seen people that
Yeah.
we were working with in the marketing, and you said, "Okay, poop, you need to be here. Poop, poop, you need to be here." But it takes talent to recognize that talent too. So that's a good thing. You ready for some questions, bro?
Yeah, of
Hey,
course.
what you
I
got?
got you. Here we go. If you could choose your own life obstacles, will you keep the ones you have now?
If I could choose my life obstacles,
Yes.
Would I keep the ones I have now?
Now, yes, like, whatever challenges you have right now, if you could keep them, if you could change them, if you could choose them.
No. I like to get things thrown my way, because that keeps me on my toes. I don't like easy.
Boom.
So
You want a challenge.
He
He wants to problem solve. You know what I mean? Give us
you're a
some
problem
problems.
solver. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to call myself at the beginning the facilitator. I like to facilitate things, make things easy for anyone around me, for whether it is for the patient that
Correct.
needs,
Yeah.
anything, or for the staff that something is happening. Oh, let me run to Staples and get paper, or let me run and get a computer because this one broke,
Yeah.
or the printer. So I like challenges. I'm okay, and I like them when they come, and when you least expect them, because it's part of the day.
It's
part of our
the
life.
challenge. It's
It's
part
part
of
of
the
life.
challenge.
Hey, the man behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
That's it.
He's figuring it all
Doing it
out.
up. All right. What are you most grateful for right now in this moment?
I think I've been blessed, with a beautiful family, the opportunity to be successful. Like I said, my dad risked his life. And my wife was just telling me a story when we just went to Puerto Rico, and we took my dad and my stepmom with us, and she was telling me that he was telling her his story on how he came to the States, and he was telling her, I've always been terrified of the water,
Oh, wow.
and I would have never thought in a million years that I would throw myself in the water. The reason why I threw myself was because of my son. I wanted him to have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think that was I mean, obviously being born, it's already an opportunity, because how many kids don't get that opportunity,
Correct.
for whatever reason. But that was I think a turning point in my life, coming to
100%.
the States and just having the opportunity to succeed and to find an amazing woman and make beautiful babies with her, and see them grow. I'm very blessed, but I think that's what I'm grateful for all the blessings.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year? Your most urgent priority.
My most urgent priority.
Like,
for
what
the
is it?
rest of
Thing
the
like,
year.
okay, before the year's over, I gotta get this done.
Me and my wife, we said, we want to get into the real estate world
Okay.
and we've been saying that for
For a long time.
for like maybe 2 years already.
Okay.
I've always liked real estate. When I was a kid, I used to go with my dad. I used to live in New Jersey, and we used to go to the Hudson River right across from New York, and I used to tell my dad, I want to own buildings one day. So, I've had that always in the back of my head. And, thanks to the medical world industry, I've been able to, save a little bit of money. And hopefully this year we can start that new journey into the real estate world.
You never know. Maybe open up a salon somewhere.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
We got to find the place first.
Open up, buy a building somewhere. Open up
We
a
got to
salon
find
first
that place, man.
Hey, I know a hairdresser.
I think,
If you find a place, I know a hairdresser.
I think, yeah, okay. All right, well,
That's
I'm gonna
all you
ask you.
got?
I'm gonna
That's
ask
all
you.
you got?
Yeah, because the other ones were like more
Yeah.
like a
For
them thing.
couples. Yeah.
I mean,
It wouldn't be
but
fair to
I
Amy
did-
if he answered.
Correct,
them.
but there was one here that what is? I'm gonna see if I can say it. Like, what is the worst advice that someone gave you that you never followed through with it? The worst advice that somebody tell you that you say, you know what, I'm not doing what he said.
I'm very stubborn.
Huh?
So I don't think I ever heard it. Let's start with that. I don't think I ever heard it. I don't think I even acknowledged the no.
Dude, like, because like you just do what you feel is right for you, like, So if somebody was to say to you, hey, I don't think you should.
I
do
wouldn't
that.
do that if I were
If you
you.
feel
Yeah.
like, no, I think this is the best idea, you're just gonna go with it.
Well, I like to go opposite. a lot of times of what people usually like to do. I don't like the usual, and that's why
Correct.
I said I throw something at me. You know,
Boom.
I like the unexpected, so
Correct.
I don't mind going where people are not usually going towards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
You know, I told my my niece, she's a tattoo artist, and she's like, what? Well, I think he's what, 21,
21.
and she's
yeah.
amazing, bro, amazing tattoo artist. And I want to get a koi fish on my leg, and my daughter was like, my daughter's a Pisces. Why are you trying to get a fish? You're not even a Pisces. I said, that's not the reason why I want to get a koi fish. And she's like, why? I said, because they swim upriver. I said, and I'm a person that I'm always going against the grain. I'm a person that I'm always going, I don't follow the crowd. I make my own way. Like, and that's just, I've been like that from the, bro, my mom has been telling me, right, my whole life.
whole life.
You ain't when computers came out, get into computers. That's where the money's at. Then it was like, you should be a nurse. You get into nursing. You're going to make money in nursing. And I didn't want, and like, and she's always trying to make me go where she thinks the money's going. I'm like, no. I was like, I have to follow what my passion, what I love doing. And it might be hard work. And it might be, you know, a very tough place to be, because it is sometimes. But it's what I love to be. And sometimes you can't just listen to just anybody that wants you to do it their way. Right? It has to speak to you. And, you know, and I'm like, that's why I'm just how I am.
people always have opinion. You
Yeah.
know,
Of course.
and do this and do that, and you know, you just, you know, I you know, in my marriage, in anything of my life, I wanna create my own path, my own story, and you know, I mean, who has done it right? Who has done it perfect? Nobody.
Right.
You know, everyone has gotten to their peak at different ages. Everyone, you know, so I rather do it my way. You know, I don't get me wrong. I love constructive criticism.
Yes,
I
100%.
love constructive criticism, whether it is business, whether it is personal, because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
But if I strongly believe, you know, in the opposite, I'm gonna go that way. Even if I'm
that's
alone.
that's your
Even if I'm
conviction.
alone, even if I'm alone,
Yeah.
I'm gonna crash, but I'm gonna do it. You
Correct.
know, because you know, I've always heard that, you know, one of the worst regrets is being in your last minutes of, you know, alive, breathing, and you know, thinking about all the things that you could have
could have
that
done,
you didn't do, and I don't want to have any regrets. Even if something that I have to do that I want to do is not okay with, it's not okay with the world, the way the world sees it, but you know, it's something that I want to do.
Even if you fail,
Yeah.
it's fine. At least I did it. At
Yeah.
least I tried. You know, and that's the whole point. That's where, you know,
Failing is not the problem, because failing is part of the process. It's not
Correct.
trying and having that, wow, what if I could have?
The
What if
what
I
if.
what if I would have what if I would have tried it and I didn't fail? Where would I have been today? Where would my family be today?
yeah, your trajectory be somewhere else
Yeah.
where you'll be like, wow, you know what? Because you know what? If you fail, well, guess what? You'll be in the same spot.
Yeah, I fell.
So-
I fell. I tried to be a truck driver because I remember, you know, in
You,
every
wait, you ever gonna be a truck driver?
yeah, I was a truck driver. So my you know, every time we had a family, you know, get together, it was my dad talking with his friends and my stepbrother about the trucking world, and I was never part of a conversation.
Yeah.
And I was always the outsider here in the medical world, and I was always the outsider. So when we moved from Central Florida to Southwest Florida, you know, I had the opportunity to work for a trucking company, and I got my CDL, and
my
and I became part of that conversation. And
Imagine if you would have
Yeah.
And then
been
he
a
was like,
trucker.
okay, I had a conversation with him. Now I can stop.
Imagine if you had.
Well,
Now I could do an airplane.
yeah, well, you know, again, it was a huge lesson for me.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from that industry, from that kind of business, on what not to do, mainly, you know, to to now the business that I help run.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know, it was a great lesson for me. I don't regret it, but
And it's crazy
Wow.
because what brought you through this was an accident.
I know.
And it's crazy. Like you
That's
go
so
through
nuts.
something that's bad or horrific, depending on what level of accident you're in. But that you don't know could be a blessing in this, literally a blessing in disguise.
a lot of our
know?
employees have been involved in an accident, and that's how they got to us. And today they love where they work, and a lot of them have become very successful in this industry.
Right.
And,
All
and
because
again,
of it.
who better than someone that has gone through that experience
Yes.
to educate, to
And
help, to have that
encourage,
compassion,
yeah.
and tell you, hey, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, a lot of times we don't know what a lot of people go through when, you know, after an accident. I mean, I'm telling you, bankrupt, you know, some of these people, they just, because they didn't do the right thing at the beginning,
Yeah.
they find themselves, because of laws that get pushed through, I mean, they find themselves in, you know, in a big hole, in a huge hole. And, you know, hopefully we're there to prevent them from getting in there. And, you know, on the other side, and, you know, the company that me and my wife own, Ally Family Health, you know, we try to do, like I said, as much as we can for the community, do things for free that, you know, that we can,
Yeah.
you know, legally do for free, and try to help as much as possible, you know, waive things if we can, because, you know, that's what we want to do. You know, we want to do it our way, and we believe that the right thing to do is a lot of times to just take care of people. That's what we're here for.
That's awesome, man. Let me ask you one last question before we go. What's one advice that you can give to somebody that's trying to start their business? You know, they're trying or they're thinking about it. Someone like yourself, you know, you're 35, you got a successful company, gonna get into real estate, so obviously it's going well for you. What can you tell somebody that's maybe in their you know, they're going through their valley of their business, or maybe they're want to start a company, or they don't know, you know, like what can you say? What kind of motivation, or what helped you through to, you know, start it, or helped you through it when you were going through some bad timing?
I guess don't listen. Just do what you feel it's right. I mean, I went through that plenty with my family, with friends, with, you know, people that used to work with me that said, or that said it behind my back, he's not going to last 6 months. You know, I was like, really, he said that? You know, that's
hate
motivation to me.
Yeah,
Thank
you're right,
you.
you're right.
So, you know,
I hate that.
and you know, a lot of times I want to be respectful
Correct.
with people,
Yeah,
and I want to
100%.
be respectful with my family. But,
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you're not a business owner, how can you talk about business with me?
Correct.
I mean, you can advise me, but you don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what it takes to grow a business. You know, and a lot of times people have worked for big businesses, but they haven't built one themselves. So, you know, I like I said, I love constructive criticism, but there's only so much that you can listen to people. There's a point where you have to say, okay, I heard all this, but now you're just talking theory. You know, and there's a big difference between school and practice. And, you know, a lot of times it's just what's the right way, what's the wrong way. There's no right or wrong. Everyone is different. Everyone's path is different. And I have done a lot of what I've done has been me being stubborn and believing that this is the right move, and we're just gonna do it. And if we fail, we at least tried it. I'm happy with that. I'm content that I failed. You know, I failed in the trucking business, but that business taught me, you know, when I went into this second adventure of medicine, you know, at least my family felt a little better because I had already a background in it, you know. But again, the trucking industry, that failure taught me so much more than anything that I've heard from anyone, any advice. You know, that failure, you know, it was a very expensive failure. You know, it was my school, you know, in business. Failing was my school.
Well, you know what? It propelled you to become the man you are business wise.
Yeah.
And here
Still
you are,
to
man.
become.
Still to become whatever
Yeah,
it is,
who
it's coming,
knows,
brother.
Sky's the limit.
That's right, man.
I'm in this country, and I believe, you know, I believe we have a lot more to do here.
That's right. There's
There you go.
opportunities for everybody that tries, man.
Yes,
So,
That's true.
thank you so much for pulling it up, man.
Hey, we
had a great
appreciate
time.
you.
Thank you for
Yes.
having me
I
here.
like it.
I felt pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
my first
Your
podcast.
first podcast, here you are, bro.
I wanted to do that with. I wanted to create something like this with the staff, and I always wonder, like,
What does it
Yeah.
like?
That's-
Well, listen.
Now you
Whenever
see.
you want to do something like this, you let me know. You got the I got the equipment. You know,
you guys have been great.
we'll take it. We'll take it over there, and we'll do something with the whole team, and
Thank you.
it'll be something fun. But no, listen, we do appreciate working with you.
Yeah.
We hope that this lasts, more because we love to be part of what you guys do, and I think it's a great partnership.
Thank you. Thank you guys for all your help as well, and for helping us, stay relevant, keep putting our names out there, and help the community, which you
course.
guys do that.
Of course, we'll
Thank you.
do that, man. Thank you so much. There you guys have it,
Hey,
man.
that's
Alpha
it.
Medicine and Rehab. Last words, Lady G.
Hey, it's a wrap. I just sense that the tune around here is that we're growing. So
We are growing.
We
We're
are
pushing
on the
forward.
move. So stay tuned.
We're trucking.
That's right.
Lewis, thank you so much, my brother.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
Do that to the camera. Do that to the camera.